Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. So, I have to admit that I messed up yesterday and missed a very important day to tell you about. Yesterday, because of all the craziness, it slipped my mind that not only is April the start of, or the entire month of April is Autism Awareness Month, but April 2nd, which was yesterday, was World Autism Awareness Day. And on World Autism Awareness Day, it's recognized all around the world. So all over all different countries recognize this day to kind of just celebrate and spread information about people with autism and how wonderful autism is. So that was yesterday. Thursday, April 2nd, was World Autism Awareness Day, and I posted some pretty cool resources on our Google Classroom that have to do with autism, and I will continue throughout April to post cool little resources about that. So, and speaking of one of them, I know we're all in middle school and some of us might not watch Sesame Street still, but the newer Sesame Street is really awesome and really takes the time to recognize people with autism. So I'm going to be posting a really sweet and really cute clip from Sesame Street that combines Sesame Street and actual kids with autism. So if you get a chance, you can go ahead and watch that. I will also be posting that on our Google Classroom. It is very sweet. Like, I almost started crying before this morning meeting, so it really touched my heart. And autism is very close to my heart. I even wore this shirt. It says, "I heart my autistic sister." My older sister, some of you may know, some of you may not, actually is autistic. So I have always grown up around being exposed to differences and someone living with someone with autism, and it has been a really incredible ride, and she is a very incredible person. So I'm very lucky to have her as a sister. I'm going to go ahead and get started on our morning meeting though. But I just wanted you to be aware of that. I do recognize it is Autism Awareness Month, April, and I did not completely forget that it was World Autism Awareness Day yesterday. I just didn't remember while I was recording our morning meeting. So we got some resources up in the Google Classroom, and now we're going to move on to Starfall. So if you're following along, go ahead and log on to starfall.com, and we're going to do our calendar for the day. All right. Let me see if my sound is up so that you can hopefully you can hear this. Okay.
Yippee! It's April 2020. Let's make a calendar.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click that arrow on the bottom right. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So,
what day of the week is it today?
What day of the week is it today? So remember, we just go ahead and look up, and the highlighted in gold one right here, it's one of my favorite days of the week. It is Friday.
Great job!
Today
is
Friday, April 3rd, 2020. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click that next arrow. And now we're going to
fill in the missing day and date.
Fill in the missing day and date. Okay, so we just talked about how it was Friday. So I'm going to drag Friday over. And yesterday, remember, World Autism Awareness Day was the 2nd of April, so that means that today is the 3rd.
Great job.
Okay, so once you have those filled in, go ahead and click that next arrow. And now is a lot of your favorite part of morning meeting.
Mark any special days this month.
Mark any special days this month. So, our first day this month that we can mark, I'm going to go ahead and go mark the holidays that are on here. And the first day of the month, April 1st, so Wednesday, April 1st, 2020, was April Fool's Day. And that's a really silly holiday where we can pull lighthearted, fun pranks on our family and friends. So I'm going to go ahead and you can put whatever, if you want to put a smiley or stars, go for it. I'm going to put some stars on Wednesday, April 1st, because that was April Fool's Day. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead, it's not marked on our calendar, but I think it should be. I'm going to go ahead and mark Thursday, April 2nd, 2020 with some stars, because that's a special day to a lot of us, and that's the World Autism Awareness Day. So Thursday, April 2nd was World Autism Awareness Day. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump down to the next week because we don't have any more holidays this week. Next Thursday, April 9th, 2020 is Passover. Remember we kind of talked about that. It's that Jewish holiday where it's kind of the start of lots of traditions. So I'm going to go ahead and put stars on Thursday, April 9th, 2020, because that is Passover. And then on that Friday, April 10th, 2020, that is going to be the Christian tradition of Good Friday, and that's always the Friday before Easter. So that is going to start the Easter traditions for people who celebrate that holiday. So I'm going to go ahead and put some stars on Friday, April 10th, 2020, because that is Good Friday. Okay, so I'm going to jump to a couple days later, and on Sunday, I feel like we're all pretty familiar with this day. Sunday, April 12th, 2020. What day is that, or what holiday is going to be on that day? The picture will probably give you a clue. I see a green egg with some yellow squiggles on it, and then I see a pink egg with some light pink dots. And usually, excuse me one moment. Yeah, that's going to be Easter. I grew up celebrating this holiday because I grew up in the Christian faith. And so we did actually decorate Easter eggs as kind of a fun thing to add to other traditions that are celebrated on this holiday. So I'm going to go ahead and put some stars on Sunday, April 12th, 2020, because that is Easter. Ow. Sorry, I was sitting on my feet and they started to fall asleep. Okay. So if I'm going to look through the rest of that week, there is no more holidays that week. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the next week. And I see on Wednesday, the 22nd, 2020, there is a beautiful picture of our planet Earth. And that is going to symbolize and tell us that it is Earth Day that day. And remember, that's the day that we raise awareness about how we can make our Earth better. So I'm going to go ahead and put some stars on Wednesday, April 22nd, because that is Earth Day. All right. And then 2 days after that, on Friday, April 24th, 2020, there is, you can see kind of like a crescent moon with 3 stars. And if you remember, we kind of talked about what this is but I also posted a resource on our Google Classroom if you wanted to learn more. This is going to be the beginning of the Muslim holiday of Ramadan. So I'm going to go ahead and put some stars on Friday, April 24th, 2020, because that is the start of Ramadan. All right, and we have another day that I would like to recognize this month because I miss this guy so much. We have one of our fellow classmates, his birthday this month. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our birthday chart from the classroom. Okay. So January, February, March, April, and our friend Harry. Harry's birthday is this month, and boy do I miss Harry. So Harry's birthday is going to be on Sunday, April 19th. So I am going to go ahead and put a slice of cake on that day because that's typically what we do when it's someone's birthday. So Sunday, April 19th, 2020 will be Harry's birthday, and I believe he's going to be 13. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he will be 13. So that is really cool. Okay. Let's see. So I'm looking at the calendar, and I don't see any more special days. I know that some of you like to mark our weekends and different things, or if you have like a cousin's birthday, whatever you want, you can go ahead and take the time to mark whatever other days you'd like, but I am going to go ahead and call this done and go ahead and hit that next arrow. And now we get to
choose a picture for your calendar.
Choose a picture for the calendar. Okay, so remember, there's those 4 pictures on the right-hand side. And I picked yesterday the one of the boy and girl that are just look like they're walking in the park. And, oh, I did, okay. Yes, I'm double checking, sorry. Harry will be 13 on April 19th. Okay, back to the calendar. So the boy and the girl walking in the park, and then the boy picking up trash, probably for Earth Day. Then we have a space image, and my guess is that has to do with probably Ramadan. And then we have that picture of the boy in the rain, the boy and the girl in the rain, and he's using a book to cover his head, and she's using an umbrella. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the cool space-looking one. And, ooh, that is really cool. I think, let me see if you can see it on here. I know it's kind of tricky. Ooh, yep, there we go. I think that one's probably the coolest picture. So, that's my picture for the day, but you can pick whichever one you would like. And hooray, we finished our calendar. Okay. So now, we're going to go ahead and, if you're following along, go ahead and type in Chico weather. And remember, we're going to just look at that first box of information that comes up. So it's going to look like this. There's a box around all this information here, and we're going to follow along with that. So the last time the weather was checked here, it says it was 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock, it says that our temperature was 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so that was our temperature at 9 o'clock. So our current temperature is probably around that, at least right now. You might be following along later on in the day, and it might be warmer. We'll see, and we're going to actually talk about that next. So, since it is Friday, I'm going to make sure that on the bottom left-hand side, there is a box on the bottom around Friday. So it's going to look like this. there is a box down here. And it says FRI at the top. And then there is a yellow circle to represent the sun. And then there's 2 temperatures underneath that yellow circle. So I'm going to look at the temperature on the left-hand side. Well, actually, let me write this out for you so I can have a visual with it. So I'm going to draw what I'm seeing right now. Okay, yellow circle. So I did FRI, then I just did my yellow circle, and then we're going to put, it is going to be 67. And then we have, sorry, I'm trying to write this backwards so that you can see it better. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, if we look here, this one right here, this is going to tell us our high for the day, our expected highest temperature. So this is 67 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we look at our, sorry, things are falling. If we look at our temperature from the room, and we try to find 67. So if we look here, here's 60 degrees, then there's 65. So I know it's going to be between 65 and 70. So 66, 67, very close to our warm temperature range, but it is still within this cool range right here. Okay. So now we're going to look at our other temperature for the day. So on the bottom right hand corner here is going to be our expected lowest temperature for the day. So 44 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's find that on here. Okay, so if we are at 40, I know it's going to be between 40 and 45. And it's going to be just below that 45 mark because 1 less than 45 is 44. So if we look, 44 is right here, and bring it across, we are in that cold range. And yeah, I'd say 44 degrees is pretty chilly for most of us. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and remember that the 3 rectangles that are put together, one says temperature, one says precipitation, and one says wind. It's going to look like this. Temperature, precipitation, and wind. We talked about our temperature, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I click on precipitation. Ooh, that's fun. I'm looking at the that blue line that shows us our percentages or our chances of rain for the day. And this might be happening, oh yeah, it's going to happen tomorrow, but you can see by looking at this, I'll show you, you can kind of guess what the weather is going to be tomorrow, and it's really cool. Okay, see how it's flat, 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 and then it goes up? So I thought that was going to be today, but then I realized it said it starts at 4 a.m. So that means tomorrow at 4 a.m. So that must mean that it will be raining tomorrow, which I'm excited about because we need the rain. All right. So, but today I'm going to go ahead and look up at the top where it says precipitation, humidity, and wind. So right here, precipitation, humidity, and wind. I'm going to look at our precipitation, and it says 0% for the day, which that also makes sense because on this part here, it showed me this, which is, imagine that's a yellow circle. which represents the sun. And usually in our weather, that means if there's just that sun, it's going to be sunny. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to, instead of clicking the temperature or precipitation, I'm going to click the wind now to see if it's going to be windy at all today. So this will bring you to where they have the arrows with the miles per hour. So it looks like this. You can't really see it that well, but there's arrows all along here, and then there's mile per hour speeds. But I'm going to go ahead and look up at the top again where it says precipitation, humidity, and wind. And it says our average wind speed is going to be about 2 miles per hour today. So it's a lot lower than what we've been having this week. We've been up in like the teens and closer to 20 miles per hour. And now we're only at 2 miles per hour. And I'm looking outside right now, out my windows. And yeah, I don't see the leaves dancing on the trees whatsoever. So I don't think it's really that windy right now. I do see the beautiful sunshine and some beautiful blue skies. I don't see any clouds. So that makes sense as to why we only have 2 mile per hour winds. It's not really windy out. So now we're going to look at, since we don't have online class tomorrow, since it's Saturday, we're going to go ahead and do the weather for tomorrow a little bit. So if we're looking, we did Friday, now we want to make sure that we have that box around Saturday. So it's going to look like this. We need that box around there, and it's going to pull up our information. So it looks like this. Okay, so we have our box. Now we have S. Sorry, I'm trying to think how to write this backwards. S-A-T for Saturday. Then we have a cloud with some raindrops. And our temperatures will be -57 degrees and 49 degrees. So it's going to look like this when you have that box around Saturday. So there's our box. Here's SAT, abbreviation for Saturday. Here's our rain clouds with our rain droplets. And it will be what's our high going to be tomorrow? 57 degrees. Nice. So tomorrow is going to be, we find 57 on here, 50, 55, and we know it's going to be a little bit above 55, 56, 57. We're in that cool temperature range. So our highest temperature for tomorrow, it will still be pretty cool outside. And with the rain, I'm sure it will feel very cold. Okay, so if we look right here, this is going to be our low for the day. What's our low our low for Saturday? What will be our low? 49 degrees. So if we look on here, we find 40, 45, and here's 50. So I know it's going to be just below 50. So 49. It is almost in that cool temperature range, but it is still cold. And as I said, tomorrow's weather will be rainy. And I'm looking at the top where it says that precipitation, humidity, and wind. Oh my goodness. 100% chance of precipitation. So it is for sure going to rain tomorrow. And if you look at our percentage scale of rain showers throughout the day, that shows that. That's what those fluctuations are. And wow, it's going to be windy too. Go ahead and check out the wind for tomorrow. Precipitation, humidity, and wind. 20 miles per hour expected. That's pretty windy. So it's, my guess is, even though it's going to be a high of 57, it's probably going to be chilly. So now would be the time where whoever was doing weather would write our weather for today, which we talked about is going to be 67 degrees is our high. And for tomorrow, our high is going to be 57 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we would take our, so today's weather is going to be sunny. And tomorrow's weather will be rainy. This is the first time we've gotten to use this rainy one since we started this online learning process, so I'm excited. We need the rain. Okay, so it would look like this if we were in our classroom, obviously written the right way. But today it's going to be a high of 67 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Tomorrow will be a high of 57 degrees Fahrenheit and rainy. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay. So now, just go ahead and erase my board here because we don't want to leave our whiteboard markers written on our board because it would be really hard to get off probably the next day once it dried. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and do our social story for the day. You can continue to do some more weather if you would like, quiz your family, whoever. But I'm going to move on. And today our social story, I was able to put it on some slides again. So we have slides with pictures along with our social story. So today's will be on it's a social story on getting attention from adults. We all want to get attention from adults sometimes. So we're going to talk about the best ways to go about getting attention from adults. I have lots of important and helpful grown-ups in my life. I have parents who love me, teachers who care about me, and doctors and therapists who help me stay healthy and strong. Here's all some of the, it looks like a parent, a teacher, a doctor, all important people who love you and care about you in your life. Sometimes I need attention from those adults. It can be hard to get their attention if they are busy and doing something else. I know that there are some really good and helpful ways to get attention. So we can see we have a really, looks like busy and stressed out adult here, but this person knows what they can do, and we'll talk about that right now. One thing I can do is raise my hand. Raising my hand shows adults that I need to tell them something. Raising my hand is an especially good way to get attention in school or in a big crowd. I think that's both, big group, sorry, my little bar was covering that word, or in a big group. So we all, I think, know how to raise our hands. Look, sitting down, raising his hand, in a group, raising his hand. We probably won't do too much raising your hand at home, but this is a good skill if you're, with like a large amount of your family or something, and you want to get attention without necessarily being rude. You can raise your hand, and typically people will notice if you raise your hand and say, "Do you have a question or comment?" Okay. Another way I can get attention from grown-ups is to use my words. This is really important. I can say, "I need to talk to you," or "I feel like I really need some attention right now." And notice, remember we had that social story on having a respectful tone. Did you notice how calm I said that and how flowy and airy and nice and polite I said that. I need to talk to you. Or I feel like I need attention right now. Not, I need to talk to you. I need attention. That's not going to get you anywhere. No one's going to want to have to give you attention if you're going to talk in a tone like that. Grown-ups like it when... Why is this doing this? Sorry. Grown-ups like it when they hear from me about exactly what I need. So this is saying it's really important to express exactly what you need if you want to communicate to an adult. So here's some kids probably saying, I need to talk to you right now. And then this one's probably saying, I feel like I really need some attention right now. And notice, since they said those really nice and polite, calm things to those adults seem really happy to give that person their attention at that moment. I can also get attention from grown-ups by writing notes or drawing pictures for them. If I need attention from my teacher, so me, I can write her an email or ask to video chat. So these are also great alternatives, especially with us kind of being at home with our families, and us only really being able to communicate together on a video chat. So if you can go ahead and write, so we have writing a note, writing an email, or this is video chatting. And I would love to, if you would like attention from me, for you to email or video chat me, because I would love to give my attention to you guys because I miss you all so much. Okay. It can be really hard to wait for an adult's attention, which, yeah, this is true. See, it says W-A-I-T, wait. And then we have, look, he's kind of frustrated, it looks like to me, which it can be frustrating having to wait, because sometimes we feel like what we need and what we want in that moment is the only thing that's happening. And that's hard to sometimes put into perspective when we're feeling that way and our bodies are feeling overwhelmed or over emotional. Sometimes when I am waiting, I just want to yell out or push my body up close to an adult. This is only okay if it is really an emergency. So we've kind of talked about this before, where if you're feeling overwhelmed or like you might need a break and like you can't have a calm body, then you should probably wait and calm yourself before trying to talk to an adult, unless it is an emergency. So you say like you fell and hurt yourself, or someone else fell and hurt themselves, or something serious along the lines of that. So we have some pictures to go with this. This is this kid. He's really feeling, he doesn't really like waiting, and he's feeling like he can't keep a calm body, and he's trying to push up close to this adult. But this is really only okay behavior if it's an emergency. So emergency, like a red flashing light. When I feel tempted to act this way, so when you feel tempted to not have a calm body or you're feeling frustrated, you can say to yourself, I will feel proud of myself for waiting, and the grown-ups will feel proud of me too. So yeah, everyone needs to remind themselves at times. I still need to remind myself when I'm feeling a lot of emotion or feeling frustrated that I will feel, I can feel proud of myself by calming myself first and collecting myself before I can communicate what I need. So this girl is doing that exactly. She was reminding herself that she will feel proud of herself for waiting. And that is something that happens. I really feel proud of myself whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, but I'm still able to have a calm body and still act like a grown-up. And grown-ups will be proud too. Grown-ups love when you're able to communicate with them effectively and in nice, polite, respectful ways. So as you can see, this kid, these grown-ups in this kid's life really appreciate that he was able to wait and not act out or have a crazy body or anything like that. And that is the end of our social story for the day. So we talked about some important ways to get attention from adults. So we can, does anyone remember? First one we can do is raise our hand. Probably won't use this too much at home unless you're in like a large gathering of people. But you can also use your words. This is a great one to probably use at home. This is, you can say, hey, I need to talk to you, please. Or, hey, I really feel like I need some attention right now. And saying it that way will be probably effective. And then the last way we can communicate is, or get attention from adults, is either writing notes, drawing pictures, or if you need attention from your teacher, me, you can write me an email or video chat. So these are all great ways to politely and respectfully get attention from adults. And sometimes, even when you do these polite and wonderful things, you might still have to wait because adults can be very busy and have very important things to do. And it's not that you're not important, it's just that adult really needs to do what they're doing before they can give you what you need. So I will be posting this on our Google Classroom as well. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I will be calling to check in with all of you today, and hopefully I'll get to talk to some of you. But other than that, please come hang out with me on our Google Classroom, write me stuff, take pictures of what you're doing, anything. I would love to interact with you. So, all right, well, have a great Friday and rest of your weekend, and we will have our next morning meeting. I will show you on Monday, and I might be posting over the weekend some cool resources too on our Google Classroom, so be ready for those. All right, bye everyone.